I
I
actually
thought there was a face.
I made an update where there is a face, but Matt hasn't put it on there yet. But I'm not gonna bitch about it.
Oh, I didn't
Okay.
know that. Welcome
I sent it to you on
everyone to
Hello.
Invoke Signo Vinces D&D 5th edition. I sneakily started that, so we got real candid conversation. It wasn't all that
Oh
exciting,
boy.
but whatever.
Sneakster.
Like all of the conversation that happens before and after the stream's not exciting.
And more or less during. Welcome everyone. This is session number 62. Getting up there. Make sure you are following along and getting caught up by going to bit.ly/LeafJack Gaming, our YouTube page. It's also in the bottom corner of the page. That way. There we go. Pointing in the right direction. Last time we left off, the company continued forward on their journey. And I'm not remembering any extra plot relevant stuff, except they ran into a couple of spectral creatures, and those creatures said you may pass if you can survive, to which the group thought that the one dreadlock was the main enemy. They attacked him. However, a zombie Tyrannosaurus Rex rushed in and attacked them as an ambush. They fought the T-Rex and tried to capture it over and over again, and an encounter, which I did not expect to take long, took the whole session. So, what are you going to do, right? That was a great time, so I really suggest going back and watching that, because even if you don't really know the kit group, it was hilarious to watch.
I had a good time.
It was like, okay, yeah. It was
Did
great.
you go back and watch it, I hope?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I made sure to watch that one. So,
I have a relevant to plot thing.
okay, go ahead.
There was a significant commune with Bocob. Yeah? Race? Yep. Okay, that I just wanted to throw that out there. There was some significant answers that I'm not remembering off the top of my head to a commune.
Ooh, snap.
Well, it was mostly significant to me in that going against Karsus is not relevant to both Raven Queen and Bacab. That's not to say it's not relevant to one or the other, but not to both.
Yes. So, we'll see where that goes. So we return back into the Shadowfell Forest on this path, leading south towards what you hope is the Fortress of the Raven Queen. The Fortress of Memories. What are you guys doing?
Confronting Lee about tactics. Lee, we need to have a serious talk.
About?
Your tactics.
What about them?
Hold on, let me get voice mode here because it's not coming easy. When you say you have something handled, you better have it handled much more efficiently than that.
So just there were lots of things that went wrong, and some things that went right, and just that wizard guy at the beginning kind of threw a snake in my plans with the tangle thing.
What part of the plan was getting eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Was that the right part, or was that the wrong part?
That was definitely actually not a terrible thing. That went pretty okay, actually.
I am dumbfounded right now.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I just woke up.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Now I need to take a power nap.
Okay.
Anyways, Lee, when things go wrong, ask for help sooner.
I mean, that's probably fair.
Oh wait, you needed help?
If you look, if you look over at Fort, he has a torn open Tyrannosaurus bite right across where his heart would be.
Oh, okay. So Lee, I'm gonna let you know something now. I'm the judge of whether or not you need help sometimes, and if you're getting eaten by a dinosaur, I'm gonna try to not. Actually, no, I'm gonna try to kill that dinosaur and get you out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Thok now has a plan for dinosaurs. Wonderful.
It's not really a plan. It's more of just a hit things kind of thing. Anyway, should we continue?
I vote we take a cat nap.
Agree with Cat. We should probably recover after this battle.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. I'm guessing we would like to take a short rest.
Please.
The plan.
Yeah.
I am going to cast Prayer of Healing if 10 minutes goes by without issue.
Yeah, you guys can succeed at a short rest.
Oh, at a short rest?
That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
I think that sounds right.
So everybody that's injured gets 8 hit points back.
Oh, good.
You should be able to see the griffin under monsters CR3, I believe.
Okay.
If you can't, let me know. It's not 3. It must be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah, it's there, but like, how do I attach it?
What?
Things.
Attach what things?
Like, how can I make it so that the thing rolls and attacks things?
Can you look at the character sheet?
Yeah, I can see Griffin under monsters.
Alright, we'll click to open.
Yep, it's open.
So you should see bio and info, character sheet, attributes
Oh.
and abilities. Go to character
Wait.
sheet.
Sure. Go to character sheet.
Uh-huh.
My character sheet.
No, the Griffin's character sheet.
Oh. Are you sure you want to turn this character into a griffin? No, I don't want to turn Thok into a griffin.
I don't know what buttons you're pressing, but they're not ones I know you can press.
Yeah, so going to Thok, going to my character sheet, going to the area, I'm dragging Griffin from the monster area.
See, this is probably where you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
Go to the journal.
Okay.
So you should see your character in the journal under characters,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
There should be a folder called monsters. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There should be
Oh,
a
duh.
folder called CR2 in that.
Okay, yeah, sweet, got it. Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then you can use that character sheet.
Yes. All right, sweet. Thank you very much.
I did not know you could transform your player into a griffin. I'm gonna have to try that one of these days.
Anyway, yeah, sorry about that.
It's alright. Gotta get it figured out. 6 hit dice at 5d10, 7. Yes, that's correct. Once everyone has rolled their resting dice, Wildcat, that's not good rolls. I guess 3 is not terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll some of those.
I thought you already had.
I'm close enough to full that I'm going to stop there. I want to point out I just used 10 hit dice. Holy cow.
Then you are fairly well tapped.
3 left.
All right. So the group is ready to continue their journey?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay. As the group continues down this path between the gnarled trees, you finally find yourself in an opening. One familiar to you, though twisted and gnarled. Right. All right, we go.
Wait a minute.
Where's the homunculus here?
Wait a minute.
We
Sitting-
better not be fighting Silas, you motherfucker.
Sitting by the river, not the river, excuse me, the pond, lake, whatever. It's more of a pond. Is the spectral form of a snake-like man.
Does it look familiar to Thok?
Very. This looks exactly like Silas.
Hey, so, I know that none of you knew this person, but, we were supposed to look after him. I'm wondering if we should get his attention, or try to avoid him. What do you think?
He turns his head towards the group and gives a wave.
I think avoiding him is not in the cards.
I wave back.
Hello.
Hello. I'm sorry that you died. I tried to help you, but you were dragged down into the lake. I also remember that conversation we had when we were out to drinks, and you said that I would see some kind of change in my ways.
No.
That happened.
Yes,
that did happen,
I'm
yeah.
sure. I'm joking. Yes.
Well, it happened, so you were right. So, if you want to feel good, anything, feel good about that.
I'm dead. Sitting in the plane of shadow. Because you did not save me.
I tried to.
You should have
I did
tried
my
harder.
best. I did my best.
I'm gonna draw my greatsword at this point. This feels hostile.
Yeah.
What are you doing here in the plane of shadow? You're just waiting around?
I am trapped.
You're trapped here.
I am connected to this place, but could not keep going in the land of the living.
What do you want?
To be free.
How do I free you?
I don't
By killing
know.
you?
I'm already dead.
Do you want to be killed again?
What would cause a spirit to be trapped on the plane of shadow?
There's a few causes. Lingering memory. That could be what it is. It's just a lingering memory of the incident. It could be that in the process of being transported to the beyond, that the Raven Queen took interest and trapped the soul on this plane. There's a variety of things that can happen to get you stuck here. It's also possible that the spirit felt like it could not go on for some reason, and that it is trapped here by something.
So it can be stuck because of feels?
Yep.
Can I do some kind of check to determine what he would be trapped here by?
That whole thing that I just said, that he just said to me, that's exactly what he's going to say to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Knowing like by what specific thing?
I mean, you could
Like
try an
knowing
insight.
Jekt and Silas and whatnot.
You may try an insight, but we'll see.
Lol.
You're not good with emotions.
Not particularly these ones. Did you want to do anything before you died? Anything specific?
I was charged to help Jet by his grandfather.
By his grandfather. Oh. Well, what were you gonna help him with?
I was going to help him grow, show him the way to his own salvation, a personal self-realization. That's the word.
Well, I mean, Jack's been doing pretty good. So, you should feel good about Jack being good.
I'm glad he's doing well, but if I'm still here, I'm guessing the old man has more.
Maybe. Well, he said that he was in the...
Shit, where was he?
Who?
I remember that there was like a name for like a
Whom?
fortress he was in.
I mean,
With
Atticus?
Carsus.
Yeah, Atticus. Yeah.
I'm not sure. You
He
guys
did
told-
say the place. He did say the place he was
did.
in. He gave us a one-word answer.
Oh, and I'm spacing the name. Wow. Necropolis.
Necropolis.
Yeah. So, he's in the Necropolis.
If it's the necropolis I know of, no one has entered.
Is it,
So we're heading to the place where the Raven Queen is, right? That's where Istanbrosa is on the Shadow Hill. Okay, cool. And that's not the Necropolis, right? Okay, alright.
well, if you intend on sitting here and feeling bad about your not releasement, do you want to join us and maybe help us along the way? Maybe you can help Jack out a little bit more too.
Jack has a
Hey.
thing for old men being in his books.
He does.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm here. And he gets up and floating above the ground, slowly makes his way towards the group.
Does he look hostile?
No.
Okay.
What happened to my body?
My understanding is that it was dragged to the bottom of the lake.
No, we buried it.
Oh, duh. Can I remember that? Or do you want me to do a history check?
I'm just gonna make you take what you said. No, I'm kidding. You can
okay.
remember that.
Okay.
We buried you right here.
Then I gesture toward the mound.
Thanks, I guess.
Does he do anything after that, or?
No, he just kind of looks at it for a bit and then looks back to you.
Okay. Well, we got another person out and ready to go. Alright, let's go.
Let's.
All right, you make it back to the path. By your reckoning, you're only about what was it, half a day, 6 hours or something like that, away from Istanbrosa or where it should be.
This area, if I recall correctly, is just outside of the city.
Not just outside of it. It's a half day's travel.
Yeah, it's at
Oh.
least a half day's travel.
Okay, got it. Might be. Okay, I'm gonna pee. I'm still listening though.
We trek onward.
All right. With Silas on tow, you guys make your way down the road, where, after about an hour's worth of travel, you're met by a group on the road, just waiting. Each of them have a mask, either made of wood or metal.
I draw my bow.
Do
One
they
of
look
them-
hostile?
And no.
Sorry. I thought I muted myself. Do they look hostile?
Oh my god.
Ooh. Oh my. No, they are sitting on by the side of the road, just waiting, it seems. Hands in their laps or doing whatever. Nothing drawn. One of them steps forward.
I shout out, "Do you sleep at night?"
One of them steps forward, a female. She says, "I trance like any other elf."
Can I do an insight on that?
Sure.
Ditto.
Same.
She seems to trance like any other elf. She seems to be truthful.
Underneath that mask, you're not a tentacle monster, are you?
Not the last time I checked.
Check again for me, why don't you?
She reaches up to her wooden mask and pulls it off, and underneath is the oldest looking elf you've ever seen. Wrinkled skin, bags under the eyes, a depth of just tiredness in the eyes.
Is she a drow?
No.
Oh.
She has a pale, very pale skin.
Do I recognize her as Shadar Kai?
It is. What's the word? It is close to the descriptions that you have read. Yes.
I put my bow away.
As you do that, she puts the mask back on.
Sorry about that. We had people pretending to be like you, and that they attacked us in our sleep. That wasn't fun.
I can understand. We have no intent on doing you any harm. Though, she turns to Lee, you have gotten yourself into some trouble.
How could you tell?
Our queen does not like it when you shoot one of her birds.
I cringe.
And the queen knows all, and sees all.
Does your queen appreciate people who attempt to train? No, train's not a good word. Tame necromantic T-Rexes? Because that's also Lee.
No.
Wait, you hunt birds? You didn't tell me this.
What?
Like,
No,
what bird did you shoot?
there was something
chicken?
watching us. Oh my goodness.
It was not chicken, was it?
No, Thok.
Oh. Anyway, continue.
1 second, I'm missing something.
Oh. So
There it
what
is.
did you do to piss the Raven Queen off?
Oh, I know.
Are you deaf? I just said you shot
Yeah.
one of her birds.
Come on, Thok, pay attention.
Lee, I really, really want to help you. Like, that's the whole reason I'm here. But sometimes you make it really hard.
You know what? You weren't there.
That
She
doesn't
was
help the
asleep.
case. You've just made it harder on me.
The cat had nothing to do with this. It was all you.
I wasn't blaming the cat.
I understand.
All
Well,
right, we should go wherever.
I respectfully request you both call her Catherine. That's her name. She's not the cat.
I like that one a lot.
The cat? Yeah. It's like being called the Thok. That'd be awesome. I'm not don't do it by the way, but you know.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, the Thok, but our almighty leader is Lee now.
Okay.
I
What do you mean our
did not
almighty
do
leader?
this.
I bow to Lee.
Goodness gracious, get up.
so Lee is the one that speaks for the group.
Did we
Sure.
agree this?
Sure, do it.
And I do
I feel like it's
apologize.
best that we each speak for ourselves, honestly, because I don't know that I can trust any of you to say things that make sense.
I do apologize. I have not introduced myself. I am Sharam. I am your guide.
Oh, good. And hopefully not executioner?
That is not for me to decide.
Okay. Then we'll be good.
No. I did not catch your names. I got yours. Yours is the Thok. We have Katarina.
If you didn't catch their name.
Catherine.
That's Doc,
Catherine.
that's Cat, that's Lee, and I'm Fort.
Nice to meet you all.
Specifically not the fort. Make that a note as well.
And also the Silas.
Oh, we know of Silas. No,
Oh, you do?
he's been here for some time.
Have you met him, or do you know of him?
Know of. And
Oh.
in passing, we do see him.
Oh, well, Silas, do you think you can ask this lady why you're here?
I already have.
Oh.
Well, if he's with you, maybe he'll get an audience with the Raven Queen. For she has called a few. Come.
Okay.
She turns and leads her group of 3 Shadowkai down the road farther.
Are they being very obvious where they're at?
Yes.
Going to take the opportunity to start reading the book.
By the way, I had a friend named Ellie, Elivia or whatever. Do you know anything of her? She's a daughter of Kylin Elisis.
Oasis. We get many wayward souls this way, but it's possible. Not all come to the Queen, though if she had interest, they would have, and you can ask her yourself.
Oh, okay. Well then, lead the way.
Though I do warn you, she often only gives one answer. Though if that's not the question you want to ask, I wouldn't. Unless you have something to offer her.
Wait, she gives one answer, or like Oh, so one question, one answer kind of
One
thing.
question, one answers. Yes.
I see.
She also typically asks for something of what's the word? Wow, I'm doing great with words.
Some kind of
Intrinsic
collateral?
no, not intrinsic value.
A
Something that
deal?
can't you can't put a price on.
Sentimental.
Sentimental, thank you. Sentimental value. It could be a trinket. It could be anything, really, as long as it has memory.
Okay. Is it one per person?
Unless you have more items of sentimental value to barter.
Okay. Got it.
Though oftentimes she only does the one.
Okay.
And I continue.
Okay. The elves take you down the path for a few hours in silence, unless anyone is to speak up and ask a question of them or each other, I guess. But barring that, a few hours do pass, and
So, how much trouble am I actually in?
it is never a good thing when one of the ravens is killed. You are likely to be punished in some way, though our queen is impossible to fully understand, so it's also impossible to predict what she'll do next.
Okay.
When dealing with her greatness, to show emotion will probably bring madness into your brain. And her. So, barring that, you should be fine. If you have a request of her, you must have payment. And even then, you may not get the answer you seek. Very few do. But it is the answer that is true. As you continue down this path, night begins to fall. However, in the distance, the first sign of light, the first sign of light other than like a campfire or just the fires you've created, are shown dancing in the shadows, not casting a ton of light.
That was your echo in somebody's mic.
Oh, weird. I haven't had done that in a while. The flames dancing in the shadows with elves running around. Well, not running, but walking with purpose. Around small abodes that litter the base of a mighty fortress. Fortress of iron and wood and just every material you could think of twisted together to make towers of twisted, jagged, rough structure. Welcome to the Fortress of Memory. Above in the sky, As the light fades, you see dark figures flying around until the blackness takes the sky and they too disappear. When you go see the Queen, memories are drug out. Sometimes forcefully, sometimes subconsciously, they just kind of pop up. If you do not wish your past to be exposed, I suggest going in alone. If you do not mind, sometimes people find solace in going with a friend or two. You're, of course, all welcome to go together if you have nothing to hide. I'll let you think about that while we continue our trek.
Hmm.
You know, I'm fine with you guys seeing my story, I guess. Or whatever.
Oh God, I'm so torn. I want to know all of you so much better, but I don't know if I want all of you to know me.
Pretty sure
Well,
you gave
you're
us
part of
all
this
the
team now,
exposition
so.
in like 4 minutes of meeting you.
Yes, you did. You did exactly that. So
That's not in character. That was at Nate. But again, Kat did that over the course of an entire night's conversation.
Yep. Yeah, but everybody has skeletons that they hide.
we're also a team too. So granted, I don't want to ask you to do anything that you don't want to do, but it's good to know who you're with. You know.
You are right, Thok.
I want to go in alone.
Okay.
Is there something you're afraid of?
I am not sure.
Well, I'm guessing that you did something really bad that you don't want us to know about. In which case, like, that kind of sucks. But you know,
I
yeah.
mean, not even exactly. Mostly, I just want to not have you in my business, Thok.
You know, fair enough.
That's the most reasonable thing I've heard you say all day.
The group is led into the fortress proper. As you enter, a peculiar thing catches all of your eyes, for it is everywhere. Small trinkets and baubles, crystals with faint clips of sound going through over and over, images flashing here and there, the floating remains of like an image, so a soul just floating along. These
People give their
knickknacks.
souls here.
Some souls get lost here, but typically they are just memories.
Ah,
I'm simultaneously terrified of this person and so intrigued.
She sends us off to find memories of interest to her. We go break through the plains and sometimes through time. We find baubles and faint memories of distant past. If you go deep enough into the fortress, you'll probably find something of your own.
you just said something that intrigues me as a person, not as a player. What sort of time travel function is in this campaign setting? Because that's really uncommon in D&D.
This is not a true time travel. It's more of grabbing an item out at time. It's weird. It's not like they are sent back and then they're physically there. It's more of they're observing and then they take from that.
That's not that uncommon then.
Yeah. That being said, they are also sent physically to the present to grab things. So
What?
like
It's
within
complicated.
the present, they are sent physically to a location within the planes to grab a memory.
Okay, that's not weird at all.
It's a very big mix of what the fuck, but that's okay.
What you just said is not weird at all. That was perfectly kosher statement. Totally linear. Absolutely made sense. We go places, we get things, we come back. Duh.
Yeah. Sharam continues through the fortress, eventually leading you to a staircase. What in the hell is that reference? Because you keep saying it.
You don't know who Charon is.
Oh, I probably do.
He's the boatman of the River Styx.
That's funny. As you ascend, memories come back to you. Things you haven't necessarily forgotten, but you don't necessarily think about. Things from your childhood, playing with a distant friend, seeing a family member you have not seen in a long time. Things, random things it seems, but just thoughts here and there just come back to you. Some darker than others, but mostly tame and whatever. So I mean, there's always the occasional scolding as a child, or in Lee's case, most of it's probably scolding because she's a drow, and just various things for Cat. It's not a lot of good because you don't have a lot of memory to go back on.
And also, not a lot of good happened according to the memories you do have.
Lots of very good memories of the mages.
No, there is
That's
that.
probably it, isn't it? Like, has anybody ever been nice to Cat besides them?
No. Everybody just wants to kidnap her and experiment on her.
As you ascend, ravens seem to have perched within the stairwell on various ledges and just whatever they can, lampposts, all the like. There's not a lot of light in here. There's enough to see just fine, but just enough. The light illuminated from the lanterns is not very comforting. It's a dull gray glow that illuminates from these lanterns that have a post and then the lantern head, and those lantern heads have iron worked designs in them to give a shadowed effect of almost like fingers on the wall. And as you turn around the stairwell, as you keep going up, the fingers seem to almost follow you and cling with you and almost climbing up the wall.
The first time we see a raven, I just motion to Lee, like, stand down. Stand down.
Goodness gracious.
I'm sure that Lee will not attack another raven.
Did you ever watch Bram Stoker's Dracula?
No.
There's a really good scene that plays out basically identically to what you just described.
Oh, cool. There are times where I am inspired by things I've never seen. Um, Eventually the stairwell ends, and in front of you is an enormous double-doored arch. The doors are made of the same design type, with the iron twisting. However, they form shapes of ravens and a hooded figure with feathery cloak donned. Uh, every moment you look into the complete darkened face, it feels like it's drawing out your mind, pulling you into it mentally and then eventually somewhat physically until you can just kind of shake away from it, feeling like you're going to be trapped forever within the door. Um, and when you blink, you swear you see slight motions within the ironworks to show the raven's wings slowly moving, and the figure's cloak billowing slightly as if an irony wind blows through. A slight chill creeps down all of your spines as Sharam breaks the silence that you did not realize was longer than a few moments at first. She breaks the silence and says, "Who's going first?"
What's on second?
Might as well be Lee if she's going alone.
All right, that's fair.
Okay. Sharam motions to the door, and the door creaks open just enough for you to enter. And we're going to enter private chat. So, everyone enjoy your time.
Oh boy.
Okay, it's just us.
All right.
Are you ready? Am I ready?
Sure.
As you step into the hall, as it is, black stained glass windows, which kind of defeats the point of windows, but they're there, surround this chamber. It goes down about 50 feet and is about 20 feet wide. At the end of the hall sits that cloaked figure you saw on the door, just the same black visage, nothing there except the blackness. Freaking Joe. The blackness covering the face, the winged or the feathered robe flowing from the figure's body, Raven perched upon her shoulder. A voice echoes within your mind, pulling at your thoughts. Come in, Lee.
I enter.
You've done a terrible deed to my bird.
I bow deeply. Forgive me. It was watching us, and I did not know it was you that sent it. There are many uncomfortable eyes that keep watch over this place.
I understand, and I feel you at least a little sincere. As she speaks, memories of your home flood into your mind. The cathedrals to Lolth, the school where you learned your abilities, and then a very, very painful memory of the sword before you. And then it goes away. What do you seek from me, Lee?
Should I ask first, or should I bring my gift first?
I tend to let you decide, or my visitors decide that.
Then we'll alternate, because I believe I have 2 gifts and 2 questions, if that's all right.
You feel something ping into your mind. Luckily, the emotionlessness thing you've been very well trained at, and it does not take you. However, it feels like your intentions are brought to the surface, no matter how hard you may try to hold them back. Ask away.
First, I take the pin off of my cloak with the symbol of the Minray, the Shadow Hunters that trained me,
Mhm.
and I place that before at her feet. This is the last vestige of my old sisterhood, and I would move past that point in my life, so I offer it to you.
As you set it down at her feet for her to collect or whatever, it seems to disappear instantly and is in her hand. Ask your question, Lee.
How do I get to Karsus?
You start with a difficult one, even for me. I almost have to applaud you for that. And she gives a slight clap. Sorry, Joe's making faces again because he thinks he's funny. um, you will need the boy. He is the only one that can get through the eye that guards the city.
Okay. Anything else that you can tell me would be also helpful, but
A hand rests on your back. Hers, as she has gone from in front of you to behind almost in an instant. You must do so carefully, sneak in, for there is always an eye watching in and out. With Jack's ability to connect to Bacab, I believe that he'll be able to make it through with his gauntlet, but it will only last for a little while to break in before something notices.
okay. Then that brings me to my second question, I suppose. And I'm going to summon the sword in its natural longsword form, and I'm just going to stab it into the ground at the base of her throne.
As you do that, a terrifying memory re-enters your mind, something you had never remembered, something you were pretty sure you could never remember.
Oh, good.
You find yourself in that room where the sword was, holding it.
Oh,
This
no.
emotional feeling of triumph enters your mind. You have found a great and powerful weapon. You could do anything with this. You could take it. You could become a matron mother with this weapon. You could take it to the surface and rule from there. And a voice behind you. What do you have there, sister? May I see? She wants it for herself. She wants to take the power from you. And you turn around, and there she is, your sister, the one who you killed. And you walk over to her. You smile. You say, "Oh, it's just a fascinating blade, isn't it?" And you grab her shoulder. She looks at you. She says, "What are you doing? Lee, what are you," as you pull back, and say, "You shall not take this from me," and you stab it through her heart. You see the life leave her eyes and her soul, her body, as you pull the sword back immaculately clean and sheathe it. You walk out, or begin to, before the memory begins to collapse within your mind, and you are back in front of the Raven Queen.
What kind of saved to not panic and fall completely apart into sobs?
That'll be a wisdom save.
Okay. Barely, but I'm gonna hopefully hold it together.
Now this is a memory, a deep memory. But this is also a cursed blade.
I'm aware.
She puts it down in the air as it just floats there naturally, almost like it's supposed to be there. And what is your second question?
I'm done with this sword. How do I kill Karsus once and for all without it?
You can never kill Karsus with a piece of himself. So, it is good that you decided to get rid of it. But I'm assuming that without it, you will be without your power. And that you are seeking not the answer to how you're going to kill him, but how you're supposed to even try.
Whatever it takes.
Helping you would cause a great rift here. But I believe that you'll be able to do it, but not as you are, not as a servant of his, as he toys with you and brings the boy to him. That is the only other thing you must worry about. That is his goal. His jet. I will sever your connection from him, and replace it with my own. You will lose the connection, the strength, the power you gained from him in every sense, but you will gain equal strength from me.
Do it.
She takes the sword in hand again, and with strength and ability you did not think anyone could possess, she transforms it into a small black orb until it is just the size of about a baseball. And then she begins to crush it in her hands, destroying the matter itself, it seems, or at least changing where it is, crushing it smaller and smaller between her palms until it is gone. She then walks over to you and puts a hand again on your shoulder, this time from the front, and says, "I bestow upon you my power so that you may kill this monster of a man." And your cloak becomes feathered like hers, and the pin that you had taken off replaced by one of her symbol. You will need to change your patron from Hexblade to what is it, Raven Queen? I don't remember exactly what it's called.
Oh, like full on. Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
If that is an issue for you, we can work something out maybe, but that
We'll
is...
have to work something out because that affects a lot of things. But like the Hexblade, like the flavor of the Hexblade is still, it mentions the Raven Queen even in the flavor of the Hexblade. So
Oh, does it? That's fine then.
Yeah.
You won't have to touch that then.
But we might have to look at this Sword of Sharpness, whether that's still the weapon I'm using or not.
Yeah, that's gone. That's gonna have to be gone.
Yeah.
I don't remember her weapon of choice, but that will be your new weapon of choice.
All right.
Or we can at least work it out. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
figure
see.
something out.
We'll get there. Says you are now severed from him. But with what you have, you will never be able to stop him. Unless you brew him a poison.
Now that I can do.
I know you have the rose. And this will take all of it. And she puts into your mind a recipe that uses all the petals of the rose. A recipe.
Good thing I haven't used it yet.
Mm-hmm. This will This will make it so he is not as strong as he is, and he will be killable, but only for a short time. Use whatever means possible to do this, and if you succeed, you will continue on your life with me as your patron. If you fail, I will be taking your soul.
I just kind of smile. Don't worry. I've had those terms before, and I respectfully will have to inform you that you're not going to get it anytime soon. I won't fail you.
I hope not. I do have to warn you as well that once your time on the living planes is over, you will be ever my servant.
So be it.
Now, go. I think we are done here unless you have further questions of me.
I do not.
Alright. As you turn to leave, you almost feel like you've taken a step forward to recovery, kind of thing. What you do with that is your own choice. Alright, you ready to head back to the regular chat?
I am.
Alright.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, the Raven Queen forged the first Shadow Blade for the Hexblades, and it's believed that the Hexblades are her agents, so it
Guys
works.
is supposed to be back now because he's still talking.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
went a little extra, but that's fine. That didn't really matter. Lee returns to y'all, not insane, which is a good start. Also cloaked in a raven feathered cape, as well as a Raven Queen symbol pinned where an old pin used to be.
What was her old pin?
She'll see whoever's next.
I don't remember what the old pin was described as.
The old pin was, I don't know if there was actually a symbol, but it was the symbol of my old, like, honestly, you guys wouldn't have recognized it. It was just an old thing.
Okay. Well, what'd you do?
I asked her how to kill Karsus and how to get to him. So, I mean, we're good to go in that regard.
What's with the getup?
I mean, well, I wasn't gonna kill Karsus with, a piece of Karsus.
Right.
Does everyone get one? It looks fashionable.
I mean, you feel free to ask her yourself.
Okay.
That seems like it'd be a waste of a question.
Probably.
All right. Saram turns to you, Lee, and gives you a nod of approval. It is good to see you in the service of the Queen rather than the monster.
It's good to be at least somewhat more free of him.
Who's next, and are you going alone?
I don't think I want to go alone.
I want to go alone, now that I think about it. Sorry.
Him then.
Okay. Sorry for making you guys wait.
Thok,
Yeah.
keep your head level, no matter what you see.
Okay. Like, do I have to stand up straight? Because I can do that.
Just don't let your emotions get the better of you.
What she's trying to say is, don't shit in the corner.
I mean,
Also that.
you know, just because you heard about that doesn't mean. Anyway,
You're a
We all-
legend, Thok.
for it.
You're a legend.
okay. Well, I'm glad that I'm known for that. Alright, Okay,
All right,
yeah,
Doc, are
I guess I'm
you?
ready.
All right. Let's see here. Let's go to the other chat then.
Okay.
Whew. You ready?
Oh man. Yep.
All right. I almost got the. Let's see if I can't get you. All right. As you enter into the hall, on either side of this 50-foot corridor, about 20-foot wide, are stained glass windows of pure black. They let in no light. On the other end of the hall is the figure on the door in the flesh, cloaked by the raven feathered black cape. Much like Lee's, though almost more regal. Blackness covers the face completely, showing no signs of a face, just darkness. A voice echoes into your mind, almost pulling at the memories within and the emotions, saying, "Come in, Thok."
I go in.
Okay. Hello. The son of Duncan Atreides and Xerxes Atreides. Youngest sibling, your elder Fola. What question do you have for me? As she talks, memories flood your mind of playing with Fola as you were a child. Happy memory. As you danced around playing ball and tag and even neighborhood kids that you had forgotten in the past. Playing with you guys, your father and mother watching from afar. Smiling on a warm summer's day.
I take out Duncan's longsword. Just like not brandishing it, just kind of like holding it aloft, and say, "Can you help me, my parents, and my sister be a family again?"
You asked a very strong question. And she takes the blade and it disappears in a wisp of nothing. I have that ability. However, to be reunited with the dead is to die. And as she talks, she rounds behind you, and a memory fills your mind. One that you may have wished you had forgotten, but still plagues you to this day. The memory of Vola, causing sparks to go into the air with her hands. And you, both intrigued but frightened. What is this? You quickly rush to your parents to tell them, look what Vola can do. Sparks. Is it some sort of trick, some sort of magic? The light in your father's eyes seems to diminish. Your mother turns away. In the only sign of weakness you've ever seen her, puts her hand down, a hand to her chest, holding herself up against the table. Duncan leaves quickly, and you hear screams as Vola gets dragged by the arm just below the wrist down into the dungeons. You chase after your father, but your mother grabs you before you can get too far and says, it is for the best. And the screams echo into your mind over and over. As you shake yourself of the memory, make a wisdom save.
Oh my god.
Now I'm going to let you make a decision here. You set your own DC for what will make it so you do not break down.
What?
So, you're making a wisdom save.
Uh-huh.
And if you fail a DC that I'm going to let you set, so if you make it 2, it's 2. And I'm not going to argue with you. But I'm going to trust you to make your decision on what the DC of this is. And let you roll it. And if you fail, you're definitely not going to hold it together.
Okay. So you're essentially giving me the choice of wanting to go into insanity and not go into insanity.
What I'm saying is, set a DC that makes sense in your head. If you think Thok is over this, make it lower. If you think Thok is not over this, make it higher. If you feel that the roll does not meet the standard of what you should be the DC, or if you're willing to fail it by itself, that's the case.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, Thok's not over this, man. This is like the biggest defining factor in his entire life. So I don't know what the DC would be, man. It would be high.
If you feel like the roll that you roll is high enough, you can. That's how I typically do it. If that's what makes it feel better, I let the rolls roll, and I go, "That's not quite there." I don't let it be there.
Okay.
If I think it's quite there, I let it.
So I roll and then I make a decision, essentially.
Yep. Pretty much.
Okay. All right. Ooh.
Wow.
That's really good.
Is it enough for you?
Shit. I don't know. 20 is, scaling. I don't know. 20 is like climbing a mountain, right?
Yeah. 30 is impossible DC, so
honestly,
25.
in my opinion, the DC for this would have been 25.
If that's what you want to go for, then you fail. And that's what we can roll with.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
You find yourself waking from the memory, tears streaming down your face. You cannot control the mix of emotions of sadness, rage, whether you're mad at your father, yourself, your mother. You don't know at this moment. However, you feel the Queen's hand on your back. Something about it seems to be pulling even deeper into that emotional turmoil. She digs deep and she says, "You're so full of such darkness, Doc."
Yeah.
There is a way to be with your family again. That's to stay here, and I can fetch their souls. And you will be forever my servant. That is my trade. You can
I
live
wouldn't be
here.
able to help. I wouldn't be able to help my friends.
In this case, yes, you're needed. But if that's what you want, I will bring all four of you here to my realm, where you will live the rest of your immortal existence.
This is Joe talking. So my choice is go back with the party, or stay here forever and live with my family, essentially.
Pretty much, it does sound like, since you're her agent, that she would want you to keep going with them for now.
Okay, yeah, and that's what I'll do.
And so will be the case. And she walks over to you, and even though this magical armor is so powerful, it changes it to have etchings of feathers all throughout it. The cape flows like leaves, black with feathers, and a symbol of the Raven Queen shows on your right breastplate.
Has my oath changed?
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Okay, all right.
Because that's going to be a big thing, and I don't know exactly what we would change it to, because I don't think treachery is necessarily. It might be. We'll
No,
see.
treachery is like, you have no source to dwell on, so you just fester by yourself. I'm guessing Oathbreaker is causing yourself, like pledging yourself to a pact.
We'll take a look at it for sure.
Okay, yeah, sounds good later.
But it's likely that you will either change your oath or, well, just add some flavor. Either way.
Yeah, sounds good.
My humble servant, go with the rest of your group. Strike down Carthus and return to me, and there your family shall wait. And do not worry, should you be struck down yourself, your immortal soul is mine, and you'll still be with them.
Okay.
That is something I can promise you.
Does Vola have to join immediately?
She will not die, but she will join.
Forever?
Her mortal soul is not mine. Or immortal soul. And that is something that I am not going to try to claim.
Okay.
Now, you've asked more than your fill of questions.
Fair.
But I like to make an exception for my agents. Now, that will be all for you today, Thok. Get your
Thank you.
rest. Join your party. And kill that bastard.
Okay.
You turn to leave. Emotions still streaming, shown through the tears of rage and disappointment and every emotion that you may have bottled up coming out all at once. Luckily, your mind was spared from insanity. Possibly by your choices, maybe not, who knows. That being said, you feel exhausted. And a little bit like you've taken a step in the right direction towards acceptance. Do with that what you will. You ready to go back?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and pop you over then. Oh, here you went back. Thok returns to the group. His armor slightly different, etched feathers flow down it. The symbol of the Raven Queen on his right breastplate, and a black feathered cloak flows from his back.
Wasn't expecting that, but okay.
Wait,
Sure.
everyone does get one?
Maybe.
Well, I suppose that precludes you from needing to ask that question and saving yourself a real question, Cat.
It sounds like it.
Uh,
Are you okay,
Um,
Thok? Everything good?
You know, I actually feel better than I have in a long time.
you can see the redness around his eyes of tears that have been wiped away.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Taram turns to you as well and gives you a nod and says, "Welcome, brother." The two of you go together?
Yeah.
See no reason not to.
Okay, do you mind staying in public chat, or do you guys still want to go private?
Public
That's
chat.
fine.
Okay. I feel like if you're in a group, it really doesn't matter as much, but with Thok and Lee, it was very deep and important, so... okay.
Hmm.
So, the third time I get to describe this, it's great. So as you guys walk in, you enter into this great hall, about 50 feet deep, 20 feet wide, on either side lined with stained glass windows of pure black. On the other side is that visage you saw on the door. A figure robed...
I hate to cut you off, but I need you to describe the ceiling, because that's the first thing Ford looks at.
Okay. The ceiling is a... what is the term that where the poles like kind of posts? There's a bunch of posts up there. It's a dark ceiling with ravens roosting and nesting and everything up there. They're just all around. However, the floor is immaculate for how many ravens are above. A single blackened window with a slight opening looms near the top of the back wall, where the ravens seem to go in and out of in perfect back and forth, in and then out, in and out, perfectly waiting for the next. Ravens are smart birds, but these ravens seem incredibly intelligent. Now,
We're at
continue.
Hogwarts, yo.
Vaulted ceiling. Thank you. Yes, it's Hogwarts up there, except a lot darker and no sky. The visage stands with the completely feathered cloak surrounding her body, much like Thok and Lee's. However, this one seems to be more regal in nature. A darkness shrouds the face, completely obscuring what might have been there or what is there, and only darkness. Now, I always get this wrong. Is it Catherine? Okay, Catherine Ford.
Catherine.
Catherine. Wow, I got it wrong and I looked at it. Catherine Ford. Come in.
I approach.
As well?
The voice echoes inside your head, pulling at memories and emotions. Kat, you see glimpses of the fear that you were wrought with, running from those who wish to enslave you. And Fort, you are brought back to painful times, whether it be before you began your training, or when...
It's probably when I died.
Yeah, that's the other one. And when you more or less were slaughtered with your friends. So, much of that. As you enter, the Raven Queen stands up and walks towards you and says, "What questions have you brought for me?"
That feels like a catch-22.
I do not mean it to be so. Ask your question, and give me your payment.
Well, Cat, I'm not certain that I have anything I wish to part with to ask a question. How about you go first, and I'll consider.
Cat will bow gracefully and look up to her and say, I am afflicted. I am a being of magical heritage, but I have become one of my own. I am the Ion Stone of Mastery, but I would like to be Catherine. Is there any way for me to separate myself from this stone? And she will hand forth a musty bag.
I'm not remembering any significance with the musty bag. Is there any?
There's,
You have to
there's
open-
something in it.
It's not from Silas, right?
No.
Well, that's good. He was looking at shit all the time. What's inside? I guess I should ask that.
So she'll open it up, and there will be a cloth-covered tome. And as she reveals open to it, it'll be the Noma Sutra.
Not
You
your
what,
memory,
mate?
but full of memories. This book seems to be. And she'll take it, and it disappears into nothingness.
Page 34 and a half is really good.
I've already read it. Now, do you wish to part with who you are? As she says those words, memories of your very creation emerge in your brain. You see just the stone floating in darkness, and then suddenly a soul surrounding it. And from there, the soul begins to interweave into the stone. And a small child is born. Not who you would remember you to be, as it is a human baby. The baby was left in an orphanage, raised through difficult times. You aged progressively, normal, as an orphan can be in the circumstances. Every once in a while, you found yourself better than the other children, no matter their age difference, but they just chalked it up to natural skill. You became a young adult, and someone figured out your identity. You were chased away. You see flames flicker from the building you were raised. You feel yourself blaming you as the cause of this destruction, running into the woods. You spent the next year continuously running from people who looked to capture you, to study you. Once or twice you are captured, however, almost by mastery, you seem to always get away. Eventually, you did get caught for a longer period of time, and you were experimented on over and over. A creature entered the building, a sleuth of some sort, or not a sleuth, excuse me, a sneaky type creature, looking around for anything it could grab, a cat like visage, almost like looking into a mirror. It finds you. Confused in your weakened state, unable to speak, it saves you. It takes you away, something drawing it to do so. Slowly, however, as it runs, you feel your body sink, as if into an abyss. And the creature becomes you. Seamlessly. You keep running, however, the flood of mixed memories clash and start to tear themselves apart as your consciousness disappears, and the next thing you know, you wake up alone, as you always were, with no memory. You flash back to the Raven Queen's Hall. Go ahead and make a wisdom save. Now, this is a weird one, because I'm not setting the DC, you are. You're setting it to feel at what point would this break Cat. If you feel like a 21, which you got, is enough to hold yourself, hold your composure, then we move on. If you decide that the 21 is not enough, we'll decide from there what happens.
I'm gonna call a 21 insufficient.
Alright. You find yourself emotionally rocked, tears streaming from your eyes, afraid and lost. You feel a digging in your brain and the Raven Queen's hand on your back, almost pulling the emotion that's welling within you. You are the stone, Cat. There is no getting away from who you are. You shall be forever plagued by this. Make another wisdom save. This one I get to make the DC for.
Oh man.
Okay. You feel your mind slipping away. But not so much that it is gone. But you are shaken and unable to speak for a little while. Poor, poor thing. She turns to Fort and says, "Anything for me, young man?"
My dedication to Macabre is far greater than anything of merit. However, due to that, I'm going to ask, what is the best way to bring about changes in the prime material plane? The best way to, let's see, bring favor to Macabre.
And I will actually hand over the prayer book I've had ever since I was initiated to the church.
She'll walk over to you and take the book. A great gift. Macabre's teachings will grow, as it is him that will take over me, Cassell, and spread from there.
I don't know if I worded that properly, but the gist of the question is, what can Fort do to make it better for Macabre?
Right, right. You must only go and show his great gifts and his works by helping people, by going farther away than just this small area that you've been surrounded by recently. The world is large, and you can make that difference. Difference. I did not mean to say different.
I was about to say, I can change the shape of the world? Wow!
Wow! You will be sent on your own pilgrimage. Seek Seven. It's Sevey, to the north. There you can set up a religious center. Many go there already.
Sevey?
Sevey.
Okay.
Sevi.
Seve.
Seve, yeah.
Seve.
I just misspoke.
That's a French name.
There, your gifts will bring Bakal's influence into a greater light.
Only I allowed to ask one question, but did she mean on this plane of shadows, or did she mean in the prime material plane? Because I did ask the prime material plane.
I was trying to imply a prime material.
Okay.
Your job here will end with the fall of Karsus and the retrieval of Jack's grandfather. She returns to Cat. It's Catherine, right? I'm going to get this right. Catherine?
Catherine.
Okay, Catherine. It's time for you to go. Mindlessly, you kind of just get up from your knees that you have fallen to and begin to walk away. At this point, you are able to mentally snap yourself out of this stupor that you've fallen into, if there's something else you'd wish to do.
She's just gonna walk out.
Okay. I hope I have been a help to you, Fort.
I don't see how you couldn't be, but time will tell.
Do you head out as well?
Yeah, but I'm gonna bow to her, because she is the Raven Queen, and then I'll head out.
Alright. Cat and Fort return. Cat distraught, racked in her mind. Fort seems to have gone through relatively unscathed. The deepest and darkest of his past is, well, not well dealt with, but
There's not much to it. I mean, yeah. Fort's background is relatively straightforward.
which is fine. Cat, however, does not seem well.
Kat's gonna feign confidence and just act like she's just, distraught, and if everybody asks, she'll be like, well, not everybody gets a fucking cloak.
Okay. So Cat, seems her normal, confident self. However, you cannot hide the redness in your eyes from where there once was tears. All right. Sharam looks over the group, says, I'm sure many of you have many things to think over and much to do in the future. Once Jack is feeling better, he will also be asked to visit the Queen. However, we do not ask him to do so if he is not feeling well. We're just going to pretend he's not feeling well.
Okay. I will accept that particular reason. Blah, blah, blah.
Bubble.
He had a rough time with that forest.
He did. I am sure all of you need a rest. Arrangements have been
Jack
made.
lost concentration in the forest. Oh my god.
Arrangements have been made for you outside of this fortress, and she begins to walk down this flight of stairs once more. And you will be well taken care of before your journey returns to its proper course. Alright, and with that, we are going to end it here tonight. It's a very deep character stuff going on there, especially for Thok and Lee. Some for Cat. We'll see what Cat does with all of that info. I just dumped into her lap. And as always, thank you guys for playing. Thank you all for watching. Stay classy.
Bye.
Bye.
But